This episode of the Zero Cafe podcast is made possible by our partners Online Influence Institute and VWO. Today I talk with Tawab Jabbar, a digital growth marketer from Nigeria. He has a Bachelor of Science in Economics from the University of Lagos, and he's currently head of marketing at Audio Nerd Music. And amongst other things, today we're talking about working remote as a growth marketer. In case you missed it, in the previous episode, I spoke with Erwin Kerk, senior consultant at SiteSpect, and we spoke about browsers, cookies, and Zero. And if you want to listen to that episode, you can do so on www.zero.cafe or in the podcast app you're listening with right now. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 7. Tawab, welcome to the Zero Cafe podcast. Lovely to have you on. And the first thing we would love to know a bit about your background. So where did you get started in with growth hacking, and what do you do right now?
I would like to say I started growth hacking. I bumped into growth hacking basically because I used to like develop strategies to build my business normally. So that's really what drove me into marketing in general. I started an online store and I needed to push my business. So I took some marketing courses. Then after my first internship with a music licensing company in America, Audio Socket to be precise. So after the internship, then I asked my coordinator, I need a reference and I need a job title for the role I played in the company. And it was I was the growth marketing coordinator. Then it dawned on me so I really thought that growth was something so wide, and I didn't realize that I was already doing it all the while. That was why it was fascinating for me. It was something I was already doing. So when I took the course with CXL, it was more like I was just validating my thoughts already. So that's really how I bumped into growth. And I'm a very fast learner and I really like knowing my stuff properly. So I took the CXL course during the COVID-19 scholarship. And that was one of the toughest things I did. We had to write articles, about 1,000-word articles every week, and that's the most I've written in a very long while. I had to write that as payment for the scholarship with CXL. So we wrote that for straight 12 weeks, and that way I figured out something also. I figured out that my copywriting skills were great.
That's a nice thing to find out, right?
that was the lesson I learned from that. And the next internship I had with a podcasting agency in Denver, Colorado also, I focused mainly on building copywriting skills. It was like an angel was sent to me because he basically wanted me to do copywriting. He gave me this book that literally changed my life, Breakthrough Advertising. I read that. I'm still not done with the book. I'm in chapter 5 or 6, but those 5 chapters or 6 chapters is enough to change your mindset totally about copywriting, especially if you're someone because I'm as real as my conversations. Basically, I'm very simple. So I like to put that into my work. I don't like taking things too serious. I want my person in my work. So I'm witty and very simple. So now having all of that principle added to my creativity is just top notch for me. I just really need to be disciplined and continue practicing. I've been doing growth now for say 2 years or 1.5 years, and I would say the journey has been beautiful, because in a country like ours where it's hard, it's really hard to make a living out of here, I've been able to build a business off social media marketing. And I would say I built a brand. Me and my friends, we started a brand, Titan Durags. And at the time, it was one of the biggest things that happened amongst like our peers. And the strategy that we basically use, which I always subscribe to, is using the most of what you have, using the most of the resources available to you. So one of my friends was like a model, and I was trying to sell the durag with the narrative of influencer marketing. So it was like the face of the durag. There's this thing with products. If there's a personal feel attached to a product, it makes it more easy to sell. So that was the strategy I was gunning for. And since we couldn't pay like huge influencers to influence for us, we literally gave out free durags. And in less than 6 months, with just Instagram marketing, social media marketing, I think we sold well over 1,000 durags. Right now in Africa, I would like to say Titan Durags is like the biggest durag brand in Africa right now. So I would I see that as a potential that with the list we're able to achieve that. Now imagine if we have it scaled up 10 times, or we have, like, I didn't mention we started this business with just 5,000 naira. 5,000 naira, and I would say we are about close to a million if we're valuing the whole business right now. We yeah, we're close to a million, and we did that in about 2 years, say 2 years. Yeah. And for the work I do with Ordinary Music, which is growth strategy, let me give you a rundown of working with Ordinary Music.
Yeah. But before you do that, so can you explain to our audience what is Audio Nerd Music? What do they do, and what do they sell online?
Ordinary Music is an independent record label based out in South Africa. Started out in Nigeria. Yeah. It's owned by my older brother, actually. Is an artist, is a songwriter, and is signed to Sony ATV, partnered with Africori. That's like the biggest distribution platform in South Africa. So basically what I do for Ordinary Music is we hit like a rock when you moved to South Africa, and we're trying to penetrate the South African market. So we realized that is normal Afrobeat, which was okay for the Nigerian audience when he was in Nigeria, was really not making waves when he got to South Africa. So we had to develop another strategy to fit into their market. What we did was that we didn't have a lot of money to sign up new artists, but then there was a studio and there's a producer. There's like, he produces, he writes music. So we partnered with a lot of like two young talents in South Africa right now, trying to break into the market. Wrote songs for about two, did about few features, and that's like value exchange for value, not necessarily payment, value exchange for value. And that way you're tapping into their audience. I call that like, I read it somewhere like 2-3 years ago. It's like poster boy formula. And I feel like if everyone can use that formula one way or the other for their businesses or anything they're trying to push, which is looking for a strategic way to always tap into people's audiences that relate to the narrative you're trying to sell, then you're good.
Yeah. And so what are you optimizing for Audio Nerd Music? Is it like people subscribing to you? Is that what you're optimizing for? So growing the audience?
Social media marketing, because that's like the cheapest form to penetrate with little resources. So social media marketing, and like we came up with a strategy of doing videos, because there's this concept of a good ad is not supposed to seem like an ad, right?
It needs to feel natural. It needs to have a nice story that you relate to.
What'd you say?
Needs to have a nice story that you relate to. It doesn't feel like I'm someone's trying to sell something to me. That's not nice.
Oh yeah. So the strategy we were trying to sell with that narrative of the ad not being like an ad was, we used videos of like popular niches that had a lot of viewing. Let's say like, there are surfers, there are like skateboarders and all these neat car racing, and some people are into like psychedelic stuff. So a lot of great designs or videos of people surfing, tagging those people that are surfing in those videos, and the music playing in the background, and it naturally syncs with the videos. Like we edited in a form where it syncs with the video. So first you get inbound leads by tagging all those influencers. If they like the videos, they repost, and that way you're getting more leads to your market. We don't have a website right now, which would have been it was just something and I'm working on, because I'm trying to grow our email database. But then like the major...
Yeah, but I find it really interesting, and that's why I found it interesting also when I saw the profile and you're working for them. There's no website right now. That's brilliant. Everyone, you would assume, okay, we were doing online marketing, so the minimal thing that we have to have is a website, but no.
Yeah, you can always... I feel like every channel is a channel. I mean, like my business right here, I know affording a website will make my customers fall off. Like it makes customers fall off the funnel, because right here, I'm not at the point where I can determine delivery fares. So I have to, if a customer has to order something on my website, then I have to message to ask for the delivery fares. I feel like I personally, if I have to go through that stress, I would probably not buy that stuff anymore. So the way we used to convert, like close our sales, is directly through WhatsApp or Instagram DMs. You ask and immediately someone answers you in 10, 15 minutes, and you send the money to their account, and that's all. I mean, it's a small business. You don't have to prioritize, like you have to work with what you have and capitalize on your strengths at that point. You can't do more than what you can do, because at the end of the day, if you overbrand and you're not, because I work from a user-centric point of view, because I put myself in the position of the consumers every time. Like, if I were to buy this stuff and you have to put me through all of this stress, I would probably not buy it. So why? Yeah, I would rather go through the stress as a business owner, manually attend to you and close that sale, than have you fall off the funnel, which is basically because of my inability to manage that platform properly. So one mistake people make is trying to tap all the market in different places without having the necessary manpower, especially as a small business. As a small business, you can focus on just 2 channels. Once you know this is your market and this is what you can handle at this point, which is great for your users, and you have to always put the user first. If you have to use 4 channels and you can't manage all of it, then you'll have users falling off, and what's the essence of business when your customers are pissed off?
Will this work? Maybe not. Isn't that what we're all trying to figure out? With VWO, create and A/B test different variations of your website to continuously discover the best performing versions that improve conversions. Stop guessing. Start A/B testing with VWO today.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a real growth hacking way, right? To do it like this, and then just focus on those customers, focus on what works, right? Don't try to make too much assumptions on what they need. I actually had a talk with
especially if you don't have like enough manpower. Like you're still a small business and you're doing it all alone. You just have to focus on your strengths.
Yeah, I think so. The first thing that I think a lot of people will think when they're hearing this, but if you do orders through like WhatsApp and you need to manually do all that, that sounds like a lot of work, and that doesn't scale well. What if you have 1,000 customers a day? What do you do? But that's just a problem for later.
If you have 1,000 customers a day, then you should be able to break bread with someone who would handle your WhatsApp. Like if I'm having such orders, I'll employ someone to handle my WhatsApp. Definitely. So
exactly.
And that way the data, which is the numbers, like the cell numbers you get for the deliveries, it's easier to close a sale via text and directing them to a link when you have it. That's why like food stores, they prefer calls. It's easier to close a sale via call or text than an email, especially for low-end products, not services necessarily. Because this is like a durag. I don't think it will be a great strategy to prioritize email marketing to sell a durag, at least not at this point that you're trying to sell at a small scale and you don't have, because for a small business, it's easier for someone to give up their number than to give up their email, right?
For the customer, you mean?
Yeah, for the customer, like there has to be a level of trust for your brand for them to give up an email. So I feel like I wanted to make an order for just food, and someone wanted me to put in my email. If I feel like my email is important, I'll definitely not put it in a food delivery website.
Funny, I just had a recording with someone else where we specifically spoke about text messaging and optimizing that. I'll link to that episode in the show notes of this episode, where it was a bit of the other way around, and that might be very different in different parts of the world where he said it's easy you get spammed by everyone on email anyway, and we'll have multiple email addresses where people we have a specific email address for people where I expect spam, so you can use that, but the phone number is special. We don't want to give the phone number away because we only have one. So if you send it, so
in this part of Nigeria, or Africa, I'll say Nigeria. It's easier because that's like the easiest thing to contact a user that wants to get a product, right? Because internet is not available to everyone here. So someone can place an order, and the fastest way for you to get to the person here is
calling them.
Yeah, calling them or sending a text.
Yep.
So
that makes so much sense.
Yeah, probably for like your jurisdiction, which is totally fine because different channels work differently in different geographical areas.
Yeah.
For Nigeria, I feel like if you want to get good leads as a small business, you should target customers via text messages. Yeah, if you want to get directly to your customers.
Cool. Hey, you were just talking about the CXL course that you did, the growth marketing mini degree. Well, one thing that you learned was that you're good at copywriting already, so that's checked off. That's really good. What are the new things that you learned? What are the things that you now remember from that course that say, hey, that changed my mind?
CXL generally, like they deserve a Grammy because CXL, like learning with CXL basically changed my mindset totally. I was good with strategy and all of that, but learning from people that literally break down everything to you just makes it seem like, this thing is. CXL literally just changes the way you think about marketing. And that's really what I appreciated about it. They make marketing very easy. They break it down. I love the course with Momoko Price, product messaging. There were also courses taken by Pep directly. I loved every course from Pep. And there's this guy, Paul Boag. Paul Boag he took the user-centric marketing course. I love this. I love his teachings also. He's a very, very vast guy. And generally, CXL changed my mindset, and it made me, because I am someone that shies away from data. And growth marketing is strategy, data, and I can't get the last part now, but then it's strategy. So I'm good with like the two other parts, but data is something I run away from, and I don't see it as a problem because I know if I have to do it, if I have to work, because I work remotely now, but if I have to work with someone or mentor me, someone teach me this stuff, if I have to do it, I will do it. If I have to learn it, I will learn it. But then there's this thing with knowing your strengths, knowing your weakness. I believe in teamwork and I believe in learning gradually. So if I can perfect my strategy skills, I know I'm good with strategy. I can generate growth for companies by just asking questions, taking a look at what they're going through right now. And I know I'm good at that. And I have someone teach me, or I have to do data.
Yeah.
Because the part of marketing that really scares me is A/B testing, all this. That's this. Nah. That's like my weak.
Yeah. But I think that for a lot of, like you said, when you do growth marketing, of course, A/B testing is an important way to validate stuff. But it only works if you have a lot of data, and if you are able to do that. And for
small businesses,
Yeah, for me, that's the distinction basically between growth marketing or growth hacking and CRO. That growth marketing, that's something you do at the beginning to find those hacks. And
CRO just optimizes it when it's at the top, right?
Yeah, exactly. Then you have that's more for established businesses.
Exactly.
When you want to optimize, and then you can run A/B tests. But before it doesn't make sense for a startup probably.
Exactly.
To do you cannot run an A/B test, and even a lot of mature companies, a lot of things that I see that mature companies or people in the digital marketing team, that whatever they want to test, they can actually not test it, at least not through an A/B test, because they don't have the data for that. It's so far down the funnel, or such an obscure thing. So but it's an important thing to keep reminding people. Then, and also because you cannot do an A/B test doesn't mean you cannot validate. There are a lot of ways that you can still validate your ideas.
Definitely, like if I try something out and I see that it works perfectly, I know it's a success, right? Yeah. So, like the number of views it gets, the number of engagements, the impressions, that's all statistics to determine if whatever you did actually did work. So yeah, I am
exactly, and that's if that's the best data that you have, then that's what you work.
Yeah, with. I'm totally data driven. Like I have to check all of this stuff actually too, but the nitty-gritty of data, that is, I know what to check for. I know what I need. I know how to interpret properly if I have to interpret. But then the part of statistics where you have to do some calculations and stuff like that, I'm not so good with it yet because I've not.
It's also not the most fun part. Let's be honest. No, I'm not sure if anyone actually enjoys doing that over and over again.
Well,
it's more about.
It sounds like something you do, right?
Yeah. it's like. I mean, I like eating. I like food, but I don't necessarily like doing the dishes, but that's I must do the dishes because because I'm eating, right?
Yeah.
That's also a bit how I feel about doing all the statistical analysis that comes after an A/B test. It's part of the job, but it's not necessarily. Maybe that's just me. There are probably people out there that do like it, and kudos to you if you do, because that's the kind of people I like. I like to add to my team so they can they can do that. Hey, so you've been talking about how that it's quite difficult to do this in Nigeria, to find a job. Do you see a trend in the country where more and more people start doing what you're doing? Do you feel you're the only one, or are there groups of people that are picking this up more and more, following maybe even these courses? Is that something people do and move towards?
The truth is, the digital space in Nigeria is growing very well, but then the thing is, the country itself is not so there are not so much opportunities yet for digital people in the country, because majority of the marketing that's done in this part of this side is mostly social media marketing and just PR and brand marketing. There's no deep marketing like structured over there. So what I subscribe to is actually learning from the multinationals and learning from authorities, which is like CXL, and it's not so accessible to everyone, to be honest, because I told you I had to write 12 weeks to do mine. Not everybody has that enthusiasm to keep up with that, especially in a country where it's not so easy to make a living. You get me? So everybody's busy with something else. So it takes a lot of discipline for you to actually pursue that on the side while you're still trying to make ends meet. So it's really a lot of work to do. So a lot of young people that are not subscribing to that yet is most probably because of awareness first, and the capability and the resources and the information to do such. Because if everyone knows that they can actually work remotely and build themselves online, not everyone actually is self-disciplined. Not everyone can learn on their own. Some people enjoy learning in a class. So that's why I do not. I feel like if there are more communities, if there's like a school for remote freelancing, and a lot of people can go and they're like top experts that actually which is something I'm looking to probably bring in for the young people, because young people here in Nigeria, in Africa in total, which is like expanding the digital space and making it more profitable for young people here in Nigeria. It's something I would really love to do, but right now I have to also hold a position of authority to be able to control such, which is why I am on this journey also, not just for myself, but for a lot of young people who just need direction, because really what people need is direction. I mean, marketing is open to, I feel like anybody can do marketing. So far as you can write, so far as you speak, and so far as you can always have a niche in marketing where you can fit in, and you can specialize in that and become a success. So yeah, that's really it for me. I am subscribing to this mode of working because I am aware of it. I also have a colleague is a conversion optimization guy, is my friend, and he also did the CXL course. In fact, he was the one who hooked me up with the CXL course. His name is Oreolua.
Okay.
Yeah, his name's Oreolua. He was one who hooked me up with the CXL course, and he also is freelancing conversion optimization and is also based out here in Nigeria. So it's not so easy to do, because you're at this side of things. It's not so easy to get jobs unless you have to prove yourself. Like, you literally have to prove yourself times 10 of what a regular person would have to do to be able to land proper jobs. So yeah, those are the mitigating factors, and it really takes someone that's really strong to continue grinding.
Yesterday's brainstorm was so good. I really liked Steph's idea of running that test on the call to action buttons. Making them orange will really make them stand out, don't you think?
Yeah, right. Do you want to design real A/B test winners and achieve enormous conversion uplift? Then stop brainstorming and take a scientific approach. If you can read Dutch, follow the steps in Online Invloed, the bestseller on managementbook.nl. Or enroll in the author's course and become an expert in applying proven behavioral science yourself. Go to onlineinfluence.com for more information and free downloads. Well, hopefully what happened the past year with so many people working from home because of the pandemic, remote working got a big boost, of course. So hopefully that enables a lot of people in your country to work for those companies that are now more, hopefully, and hopefully they stay more open to hiring remotely, because it just works fine, right?
Yeah.
And especially I guess for specifically for Nigeria, I mean, your official language is English. That definitely helps, I guess. You're in, well, at least for Europe, you're in the same time zone. That might help. So yeah, why not?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. I hope it works.
But,
I hope it works, but it's like, if we're being honest, the market is not so accommodating.
So what do you think? Of course, there's a bit of survivorship bias here, but why do you think it did work for you? How did you manage to get this far and make it work for you?
It's really, I feel like I am someone who, when I set my mind to something, it really takes probably God to stop me, because I've been burned like twice. I have worked for companies and I thought I would get retained, and boom, like 3 months internships, because there's this platform where you reach out to workers, you work free 3 months, and probably like I had this very good belief that I know if I work with you for 3 months, you would probably want me to continue working with you. So that was the mindset I always went with. I was investing, and I was using that to also get experience about the foreign market, how it works. And that way I developed myself. But then I had the hopes of, probably getting on and burned first, burned second, but I'm still chasing.
So did you start right away with trying to work for foreign companies? Was it a strategy, or just happened? Or
no. I while I was in university, I interned for a PR company. In my 300 level, I like marketing. For me, I started marketing as I used to sell teas. Yeah, I used to sell teas while I was in school. I put my teas in backpack and I take it to class. So I sell. And that was how I was leaving through uni. And in my 200 level or 300 level, I got a job in a PR company. I was working as a VJ. I was working as a VJ and a content creator for them. So it was a PR company. So I used to take part in their brainstorming sessions. Sometimes I come up with ideas. Also, I handle social media management. So that really formed a background for me. And I am someone that's really open. I like to learn a lot from people. So I ask questions. I really want to know what's going on. And yeah, after that, in my final year, I carved a niche for the online store I was doing. I made it strictly for Made in Africa product, or brand focused. And our first product was the Durags. It's made in Africa, but it's all brand. Yeah. So that was going on the side, and in a bid to, I got the first online course I did. I got it as a scholarship also. There's this guy, Chris Kwekoe, is the owner of Slate Cube. He came for a conference in our uni when I was in my final year, and I answered a question, and it gave me and a colleague of mine a scholarship of 50,000 naira. That was how I got my first digital marketing certificate from Slate Cube. Then I did another digital marketing course from Google Digital Skills for Africa. Then when I did all of that, I was stuck in this phase of I need to gain experience. But then I didn't want to subscribe to a 9 to 5 in Nigeria because I already did that. Immediately I graduated from school. I got a job with a media company as a digital marketing executive. But then I just felt like that position was quite big, digital marketing executive. Like I felt like I needed to know more than, because if at that stage I had started working as a digital marketing executive, I felt like there was no one to teach me more stuff. And I felt like, I wasn't going to start draining myself at such age when I have not gained more value. So I adopted the strategy of building myself. And
would you say this is something that's that could work for way more people in the country? Would you say, okay, actually it would be a really good idea to have a lot of people in here, teenagers that just start out. Let's try to get them on board, get them some skills in online, and try to connect them to more international companies so they get that experience.
If there's like a sort of system where there are young digital talents that know that they can, even while learning, they can probably make a token, because definitely while learning, you give them projects that are actual projects that they work on. So they know that you're gaining something at least, and it's of value to like the body that's organizing it. You get me? So if they know that, okay, while during the learning phase, they can gain something and they learn, and they have to, like, when they start getting jobs, the platform probably gets a percentage of their income, and that's how the platform makes their money. But then it's connecting them with international clients, and we've already gone through the process of vetting the talents and the online and training them for the skill that we want them to deliver. I feel like it's going to be a very great strategy to come to. Like, it's something that amongst the young people, if once they can ascertain that this thing is legit, Nigerians are one of the most smart people, because amidst every, like, we still keep on moving on. Like, you can't stop that Nigerian spirit. You can't.
Good. Hey, so one of my final questions for you. What would be what is a skill that you think you now have acquired with doing all these courses and the work that you've done? Or what kind of advice would you give to people starting out in CRO?
CRO or growth?
Or in growth marketing.
For entrepreneurs or growth marketers?
The people like you, growth marketers.
Okay, growth marketers. I would say for someone just starting out, do not overload yourself. Like, don't think you can learn every part of growth marketing at once. You'll be shitting on yourself. You have to take it bit by bit, digest it, learn a particular part for a while, know that you're good at that, pick other parts, and you have to be really consistent with working. And which is why I always reach out for jobs. I always reach out because I never want to be idle. I always want to be caught working on something, because that way you get better. That way you get better. That way you get better. So always keep on working, and copywriting skills are one of the best skills you want to develop. Just keep doing what you're doing and
keep doing what you're doing. Good. And so what are you doing then? What are you doing yourself in the next, let's say the next year? What are your plans for 2021?
2021 is focusing on developing copywriting skills, putting myself out there more, because I really want to make an impact for, like, in this digital space. I want to make an impact. I want to be seen in the next 4 or 5 years, and younger people in this part of the country feel like they can't be that guy and they can work with anybody. Because I'm not a fan. I'm not a racist. I feel like everybody is like, I feel like I don't limit myself by stuff like that. I feel like everyone is equal. And if I have racism in my head when I'm talking to someone else, I'm putting myself, I don't see all of those limitations. I feel like you can work globally. Everyone is a global citizen. It's really just your mindset. If you feel like you're low, then you're low. If you place yourself in a higher vibration, then you would definitely be that guy.
I think that's a great way to end this podcast. That's a great way to look at the world, I think.
And it was
very good.
Really nice talking to you.
It was nice talking to you too. No, it's very interesting to meet people in the zero world and growth marketing around the world, and to see all those different. I mean, a lot of things are different in other parts of the world, and it's really interesting to confront yourself with that. That's personally what I always like about traveling to other countries, because we all have these assumptions and habits that we have developed because we live in a certain country or part of a country, and then you go to travel somewhere else, and then you see, hey, actually, what we do is either it's not smart, or it doesn't make sense, or it just happened. And well, one example is just that. Of course, some parts of the world, people drive on the left side of the road, and some parts they drive on the right side of the road. It's not necessarily that one is better than the other, but that's just a standard that we set. But it can impact many things, and it's same with usability on websites. That's or usability that, like you said, when we might have a lot of assumptions that we're not even aware of. My assumption for any business would be, okay, we need a website. So it's great to talk to someone that runs a business without an online business without having a website. That's amazing.
It's not like a website is not necessary or something, but then it is what it is. Like, it's what you can manage that you will put out there. For Ordinary Music, the website, I am working on the web content this weekend already. So I'm working with the web designer. So it's really just, most of the problem is... But
it doesn't have to be the starting point. Yeah, that's great.
Exactly.
Great talking to you, Tawab. I hope to talk to you soon. And thanks so much for the interview. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me, Vito.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And this concludes Season 3, Episode 7 of the Zero Cafe podcast with Tawab Jabbar. Make sure to check out the show notes on the Zero Cafe website for links to some additional information on today's topic. In the next episode, I'll be talking about Abby Howe about the top 10 reasons your A/B test failed the QA phase. Talk to you then, and always be optimizing.